The baker had Simone, and everybody saw that she could do the job. The lawyer went to the baker and saw Simone at work. The lawyer hired John because the baker hired Simone. The baker hired Simone. The dentist went to the lawyer and saw John at work. The dentist hired Sophia because the lawyer hired John. Because the baker hired Simone. The baker hired Simone. The farmer went to the dentist and saw Sophia at work. The farmer hired Kate because the dentist hired Sophia. Because the lawyer hired John. Because the baker hired Simone. The baker hired Simone. The barber went to the farmer and saw Kate at work. The barber hired Paul because the farmer hired Kate. Because the dentist hired Sophia. Because the lawyer hired John. Because the baker hired Simone. The baker hired Simone. The baker went to the barber and saw Paul at work. He didn't have a clue, but it was thanks to his first move that the barber hired Paul. Because the farmer hired Kate. Because the dentist hired Sophia. Because the lawyer hired John. Because the baker hired Simone. The baker hired Simone. The baker hired Simone. Yeah.
Thank you very much. The next presenter is Stanley Bawden. His work is living link for over 10 years. Prove his dedication to the advancing support, employment for the person with disability. Please welcome Mr. Bawden. Thank you for being here today to share a knowledge experience with us. Thank you. Please welcome.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank Down Syndrome South Africa for this opportunity to present at this wonderful event. It's been really insightful and given a lot of food for thought. My name is Stanley, as Tenjiwe said. I represent an organization called the Living Link. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through a brief presentation on the Living Link so that you can understand how we fit in. I just want to put my phone here because I can go on when I start to talk. So we do have other presenters and it is hot and I don't want anybody to fall asleep on me. Just in terms of my involvement with the Living Link, the Living Link, as you can see there, was started in 2000. As with any organization where a family faces change, the women step up in terms of the mothers or the grandmothers or aunties or whatever it is, and they find the solution because the power rests within the woman. That's what I believe. And the Living Link was started by a mother and a daughter, the mother being Ingrid. She had 2 daughters. The one daughter had an intellectual disability, made it through school, and then the question was, well, what do we do with Nadine, who has an intellectual disability? Because everybody said she needs to go home, she needs to sit at home, and there's nothing that, she's not going to progress anywhere. So her younger daughter, Julia, and her put a training program together. 18 months later, Nadine moved out and started living independently with 3 other people with disabilities. And that was the start of the Living Link in 2000. So you can see we've got a bit of street cred. We've been around for 24 years now, and hopefully we'll be around for another 124 years, making a difference in the lives of intellectually disabled people. We have, over the past, had a number of people with Down syndrome come through our doors and who have been very successful and gone on to live independently and gain work. But we're an organization, we're based in Cape Town and Johannesburg. As I say, Johannesburg was started in 2000, Cape Town was started in 2016, so still relatively new in that area. We train 2 courses. We train an NQF Level 1 cleaning and hygiene program and an NQF Level 2 business administration program. And the reason we train at that level is because that's the level that the young adults who come to the Living Link, they can cope with that level of education. Your higher NQF levels become a little bit more complicated, where people battle to read and write. We train our young adults to become more independent, to be confident, and to be work fit. Our aim, our value chain, if you want to call it that, is to get the young adults through the program, to get them empowered and upskilled, so that when they leave us, we are confident, they are confident, and their parents are confident that they can find work in the open labor market, and that they can start to live more independently. So be the adult that they should be, and not always the child. As I say, on completion of the program, we then look to find the young adults some kind of work out in the open labor market. In terms of the qualification, the NQF Level 1 qualification, it consists of 9 learning modules, and it's quite a nice course, because what it allows the young adults to understand is what is required of me as a person who graduates from a schooling perspective and now is expected to behave as an adult out in the world. What is expected of me? And the qualification itself lends itself to good learning, because you've got to learn how to communicate effectively, whether you have disabilities or not. Whether you live with your parents, whether you live independently, whether you live in a commune, whatever, you have to keep your place clean and tidy. And when you go into the workplace, there's not a lot of offices nowadays that have cleaning facilities that come in and take care of everything. It's a lot of the times in smaller businesses, it's the individuals that do that. We help them to understand the use of chemicals. We do basic budgeting, including mass literacy. Give me a second. We look at the dynamics of teamwork, and again, that goes beyond just the workplace. That's your social environment, your family environment. And then we do what we call job sampling. That's the second part of the course, where we send the young adults out, we place them in various organizations like EY, the Joburg Zoo, Impala Fruit and Sparrow School, and they work in those sites for a period of between 6 and 7 weeks, alongside the people that are working in the different departments, and they get real workplace-based experience. They're not sitting there to observe anything. They are there to work and to add value. You can see we offer multiple site experience, and that talks to further employment, so that when that young adult leaves our first year of training, they have a good idea of what kind of work they like to do. It could be office work, it could be outside work, it could be a combination. They get that multiple site experience. We job coach them. We also do assessments on the young adults, which we coach. We coach those young adults based on those assessments, so that ultimately when they're finished, there are no surprises that await them in the workplace. So nobody can say, I didn't know I had to be at work on time every day, or if you told me I have a 15-minute tea break from 10 o'clock to 10:15, I'm not allowed to go and talk to my friend in the other department for 15 minutes, then get my tea. Now it's hot, now I wait for it. And by the time I get back to my workplace, it's 40 minutes later. So those small little generic intricacies we teach the young adults. At the end of the course, we exit the students through Service CETA, because that's who we are accredited with. The young adults leave with an NQF Level 1 qualification, post-schooling qualification. That not only allows them to go on and do further kinds of studies within that CETA sector, although that is changing now, but any further learning that they do where similar unit standards have been covered, they then have that recognized as prior learning. Once they've graduated, once they've gone out, this is the focus of what everybody here is looking at, is employment. So employment for us is a big word. We utilize the supported employment model, where we don't just place and run. Can you go back? We don't just place and run. We place, and then in terms of people who are placed in any kind of workforce, there's a term called reasonable accommodation that needs to be applied. Whether you have an intellectual disability, whether you have a physical disability, it doesn't matter. People with disabilities are allowed accommodations to help them be successful, to maintain and to grow in that workplace. And the supported employment model is used. We have different kinds of employment programs. We have what we call the Gap Skills Development Program, where we get funding, we then take it, we look to see who's on our database, and when we then place people in environments that are conducive to their likes and their abilities. We will never place in an environment where we set somebody up for failure. We will never place in an environment where an employer does not offer reasonable accommodation to their employee. In terms of work, if I have to, for example, if I take an example here, I'm a hostess or a host, and my job is to get the food ready and make sure the water's available and cool drinks are available and clear the tables afterwards. If I get paid 6,000 Rand a month for that, then we ensure that the people that we place with intellectual disabilities are placed against the same rate. So we fight for those rights as well. Just because you have a disability, it doesn't mean that an employer should pay you any less. You are doing the same job, you are adding the same value, if not more, because you are loyal and dedicated and you're coming with a qualification, so we advocate for that. And then we have different contract types of employment. We've had a lot of success with Yes for You. So if associations are here, are looking to place people, get in touch with the Yes for Youth guys. There's a lot of money in that sector where people can get employed for a year's contract at a business. Businesses are looking for people with disabilities, all sorts of disabilities. But there's a big drive for inclusion and absorption on completion of the year. And then we have voluntary employment, further learnerships where young adults who have the capabilities, they can move into those, and then they can get higher qualifications, and then internships that are offered by businesses. So employment is there. But with people with disabilities, it's important to realize that they must be accommodated in environments where they go and work. Because we've explored employment opportunities, and the employer has said to us, you can't employ people with disabilities. We've had 4 people who were deaf here. They lasted 6 months, and you can see they can't cope and they aren't capable because they haven't been accommodated. The reasonable accommodation hasn't been applied. So if you have an organization that can provide that in terms of job coaching or support from a reasonable accommodation point of view, you need to go into those employment environments, you need to educate those people, you need to help them understand how they can best support that new employee coming in to their environment. And the other thing is, if you have never worked or been associated with a person with disability, people are scared to use a word, because they don't believe in the ability of a person who has a disability. You tell them, scratch out the dis, give the opportunity, we will provide the support, and you will see the success. That's what happens when the right processes are followed. Then just a little bit of stats. Emil used stats. Good man. But from our point of view, since 2000, we've trained over 1,300 people. We currently, even in the economic times we face right now, for people with disabilities, and when I talk people with disabilities, we train from 18 to 35 years. So we are in that youth unemployment sector. We're running at about a 65% success rate. And that's across all different types of employment. It's not only permanent employment, but if you push hard and you use your contacts, like I say, Yes for Youth and other organizations, you can create opportunities. And you can find those opportunities. Lean on the people you know. Lean on your connections, your social connections, your business connections, your family connections, because that's how the opportunities come about. Then just to leave you with some of the places, as I forget the slide who spoke about it, but not all disabilities, intellectual disabilities, are the same. You know, that was in that movie. Yes, that's where it was. It was in the clip. People with disabilities have their own likes, their own dislikes. They have their own emotions. They have their own personalities. They just have a disability. And this list here, in terms of what we've got from some of the people who have come through our program, it just gives you a very brief understanding of the different types of businesses where people can work. And if you look at it, you've got government, you've got hospitals, you've got nurseries, you've got pharmaceuticals, you've got law firms there, you've got retail outlets. They're all doing different things. But they are found employment against their abilities, and that's the important thing. And as close as possible to the likes that they have in terms of what they want to be employed against. I'm going to leave you with this, but I think it's a great saying. I don't know who said it, but for the organizations that are here, for the people that are here, the possibilities are endless. They really are. But with the right support, the right guidance, the right accommodations, people can be found employment, people can go out into employment, they can have a long life in employment, they can develop in employment, and they can prove to the other employees who are there exactly how you should be working and the pace and the capacity that you should be working. I thank you for your time. I'm going to hand over to Annelies again. And if anybody's got any questions, I'm around here. You're welcome to come and have a chat. But thank you for listening.